Hi and welcome to bexbugoutsurvivor. We're going to have a look at a couple of Bergens and I'm going to tell you the differences and why it's important to use them in a different way if you're using army issue kit for your hobby. Okay, let's start with this. This one is the classic British PCS. It's the CS95 PCS Bergen. This one is in MTP obviously, and it carries all your CMO in it really well. So CMO, for those of you who don't know, is your complete equipment marching order. In here you'd be expected to carry your bivvy bag, your sleeping bag, a warm jumper, your basher obviously with the bungees and the pegs. What else are you expected to carry? The waterproofs and a pad, and really that's it. You could stop there. Obviously there's other things you're going to need to carry, such as a wash kit and things like that, but like I said, we are looking at getting some of the CMO kit and then using it for recreational purposes like a wild camp. Now just this order alone is ready to go. Now this is the Vertis Bergen and it is akin to a long back. Now this can carry all my CMO, but it has the ability to carry water and the AUPS, which is the operational ration pack. So with this CS95 Bergen, highly recommended if you're going to use this for some kind of fishing or a night out wild camping, that you don't put the water, the stove and the rations in here. I would use the webbing belt to do that, and that's the crux of this video, is to inform people who want to use these for your wild camping and your nights out fishing, whatever your hobby is that will require a sleeping bag and a roof over your head. I really recommend getting yourself a webbing together, because at the moment this is, I think, 12 kilos all in, remembering that the actual Bergen itself is 4.5 kilos. It's not really a good trade-off. I have a pack weighing as much as 50% of the content that's in it, but I like to carry mine pretty light. In the army your CMO could be anything up to 17.5 kilos. I'm 12.5 here. I'm happy with that. But if we move to this one here, which is the newer Vertis, I use this very differently. There's no webbing with this. Food and the stove and all the utilities are actually inside the Bergen. This is the zip on, ready for your bladder system, and the bladder system inside is for 2 litre or 3 litre long sauce. Not a good idea. I'm going to strip out the weight of the water. With this, water in your webbing, so long as I can do something about the water, this is a bloody good pack. The water kills it. As where this with a webbing and you split the weight of the water and the rations and the stove is exceptional. Why am I showing you this now? I've got to strip out all my gear from this. This has been sold. This one is going up to RM Condor in the Borth in Scotland, Royal Marine Commandos, the office, and somebody there is having it. I'm not going to name them, but somebody there has got this. A little bargain as well. I'll let a few quid go because he's RM, and he'll be having this pretty soon. Just got to strip out some of the elements that I've got in. He's not having them, which will be wets, dries, the maggot bag, things like that, and then transferring it into this one here, which is the Vertis, I'm going to minus the water. It spoils the Bergen, it really does spoil it. So first off, I need to get this pad here into the Vertis. So I think we'll go outside to do this. As much as I do like this Bergen, I've never really had the use out of it that, you know, I would like from it, because I don't always want to use webbing for camping. So in a way, yeah, I'm going to miss it. I will miss it, but if I'm not getting the use out of it and somebody else can, it's a lot better off being with somebody else. And as it's going to RM Condor, I don't mind. I was really hoping this was going to work for me, but it doesn't. It's a shame. But in the same way as your Bergen side pouches, I unzip the water bladder and its sleeve like that. But if I turn it to its side, now you can see 50% of this water bladder is eating its way into the inside space of the Bergen. I have the hose, and we'll disconnect that now on a quick disconnect, which is never quick for me. Apart from that once, that makes me a liar. Onto the shoulder strap. And there's a nice little Velcro housing there. And that's the drinks tube off there. Right, how heavy is the pack now without the water? It's okay, it's okay. In here I do have the actual cook set here, which is the Jetboil for me. Refuelable if I use this little gadget. And this does have to be carried now internally rather than on a webbing order. Little cleaning cloth. The fold out Wild Oak cup instead of the 58 black beaker. Inside is the Jetboil, and it's only the shape and size so it fits into one of your utility pouches, coffee making kit, the stove, the fuel, and a stand. As I was saying, the shape and size of this unit here is for ration pack food, and I can keep that at a nice little simmer for 6-7 minutes, heat my food. So that is why that is the shape and size it is, because a lot of people don't like using the Flash Jetboil. But then again, if you're not using ration pack food, then I get that. I wouldn't use this if I wasn't using ration pack food. In my little pouch, this is something I made myself, is a sleeping bag for my gas, and it's made out of a sleeve of a jacket. I can pop my gas into there, seal it up, and I can either put this in my sleeping bag or just keep it in my pack, and hopefully the insulation from this actual little sleeping bag for my gas will stop it freezing overnight. I have not tested it. This idea might not work at all. I might pop that in the freezer and let you know on a quick tip how that performs. There you have it. So I do need to pack everything here now into the Vertis without the webbing, and the thing that was killing it for me was the water. Obviously I don't have a problem popping a lightweight stove in, and it is pretty lightweight because it's not just a stove, you've got the pot and the fuel for it. And like I said, I know a lot of people don't like using the Jetboil. It's not compulsory. You know, if you don't like it, don't bloody buy it. It's as simple as that. I always get that in the comments. I don't like it, I don't like it. Well, don't buy it then. You're not 4 years old. You should know if you don't like something, don't buy it. Coffee making kit up there, because I like real coffee. Pop the lid onto there. A little plastic beaker here, which keeps that free of debris. That is the thermal heat exchange, or the flux ring. Protect that. A lovely little pouch for it. This was from Japan, because it's 11 inches high and all the European ones are only 10 inches high. Little sleeping bag there for me gas, or a spare canister in there as well. This will hold 4 canisters, enough for 64 boils. 64. Imagine how many days out just this one little pack will do you at 64 boils. But I love my Jetboil. Mine is on the go 5-6 times a day. If you're out for a day, 2 days, then I'll just get a little penny stove and liquid alcohol, little GSI pot or your Tatonka. So make sure you get the right kit for the right job, rather than having a preference for a bit of kit. This is the right kit for this pack and the job I want it to do. Now it's time to get all this kit into this pack. I'm going to take it outdoors to do this. That is my roll pad. I do have a basher pouch on the right, a field medic pack I'm going to put on the front of the GU Bergen, waterproof leggings and jacket. I'll be using the Jetboil kit. That's my warm kit there. That's the GU Bergen itself. Sleet sheet with everything I need for it, including all the pegs I need. In the winter, this is the size of the warm kit I would have. In this demonstration, I am using the Buffalo classic bivvy bag. Always carry my warm kit, and this varies obviously throughout the season of the year. There's, get my hat on, spare t-shirt, underwear. And like I said, get your favourite jumper or coat, anything that's warm. You can even use a fleece, but I'm going to use my Special Forces ECW. Oh, it's better. Oh, so much better. And I'm going to pack the sleeping bag into here. It goes without saying, use your favourite sleeping bag. I'm not recommending anything here I'm just showing you the difference between loading the two different PLCEs. This is the top where I have double entry snow collars, so I'm going to close the inner on the sleeping bag, and we'll come back to the outer snow collar at the end. And like I said to you before, I'm going to keep my ECWs down the bottom. This is it for spring and summer. This would be the winter. Put your favourite fleece in here, but I also have tabbing socks, antibacterial trolleys, pants, and I have the PCS. I have the PCS trousers. Why do I have the trousers and the top? Because I use them as secondary insulation inside the sleeping bag. So I could have just put this on. Now this isn't the way I usually do this. What I like to do is get the sleeping bag into the bivvy and roll it. Lower compartment, I can push that sleeping bag out of the way and get my dry gear or warm gear in here, making sure I have the handle facing out so I can grab it. And I'll show you a different way of packing at the end, like I said before. I'm going to put the sleet sheet with the pegs and the bungees and everything else I need into one of the outside pockets on the GU Bergen. That pocket is on the front here and it is massive. You could put your waterproofs in there if you wanted, whatever you want. But for demonstration, there's my basher kit. Put that in there. There is loads of room for other things. This is nowhere near full. Vision zips, YKK with the ring pulls. If you want to change the order, the way you put things in and where you put them is on you. I'm just showing you one of the ways that I do it. I've got the rain gear to go in. That is where that top lid comes in. Now remember, as well as being having bottom entry and a mid clamshell, it also is a top loader. Okay, so there are those who think that the GU Bergen is not a top loader. It is. So it has 3 access. But on this snow collar here at the top is where I'm going to put my rain pants and my rain jacket again. Quick, easy access without going into the main body. But a nice waterproof section here for my jacket and my pack lights. Not the same pattern, it doesn't have to be. I'm only doing a bit of camping and I want to be warm and dry. Let's toddle that up and bring the lid over, and I can click in numerous locations around the Bergen. For now I'm going to use one of the side straps to the Bergen to close the top lid, but I could do this with other straps. Okay, that's just for now, that'll do. Get a bit more compression on that. There you go. Still have the bivvy and the cook set. There is a ton of room left over if I open up the clamshell. You can see all this space on this side completely empty, which is why I'm saying you could get a full 24-hour rations and more. But because I want to travel a little light, I have about 4 days of fuel there, 16 burns for a day. and have plenty of room here at the top. There's so much unoccupied space here, and that is in lieu of using something like this, because I'm not going to carry the water like this or in the bladder either. In the front where I put that basher, the sleet sheet, I'm going to put a ground cloth in there, and mine is just one of them little plastic bivvies like that. Still loads of room in there as well. It is cavernous, this, compared to the other PLCE we just spoke about. Look at the room still available in here in the main clamshell. It's cavernous, so I have plenty of room there to put my bivvy. Obviously folding it, you're going to save a lot of space, but if you want to have a quick strike down, you've got to know all your kit fits in without having to roll it or fold it. So I'm going to opt for stuffing this in. This is not my preferred method of doing this, but I just want to show you how cavernous this really is. There's still loads of room, loads of room. I do enjoy this burger when it's used properly, and using it properly will mean keeping things like your rations and your water preferably on your webbing, but it doesn't carry well with webbing, so it's got to go in. A roll pad, which obviously numerous locations to put that, either on the side of the Bergen, under sling it, put it under the lid. I'm going to leave that to you. I know what you think is missing is this first aid, connected on via Pal's ladder and molly. It looks like that when it's on. Now I would rather have the basher in its pouch here, but connected to a webbing, and then that way the weight of that is out of the Bergen as well. That rides nice on top of the webbing, and your PLCE Bergen sits on top of that, boosts your pack up. This is something somebody told me who was in the infantry, to actually flat pack the actual bivvy and sleeping bag. No need to bungee it, the pack will keep it in this shape here. I'm not even stuffing it, rolled it, put it in my opinion, the quickest method. All I need to do is pick up my warm kit and put that next to it. That leaves all this space unoccupied for my rations and my cook set. It is a cavernous space, this pack really is. So now I can take the basher, which is on the side, get it out of the pack and loose fill it into the front of the Bergen. Before anyone gets bent out of shape in the comments, just the way I like to do it. I get to camp open it up either through the top or the clamshell, pull out the whole roll rather than the sleeping bag and bivvy being stuffed. Rolled it, just roll it out, it's ready. Slip a pad underneath or even inside the bivvy with you, up to you that one, and I get in. Obviously I'll have set up the sleet sheet first. If it gets cold, all I need to do is jump down the bottom and put a coat on. And again, I've got the handle here to pull it out, and in there I've got my ECW. There is more room in here, in my opinion, in 90 litres than there is to the 100 litres of the CS95 Bergen. And that is because with the CS95 Bergen, that 100 litres is split over many different pockets, as where this is 90 litres. The inner chamber, 90 litres, and not taking into account the insulated top lid here for your batteries and your torch, so you don't have to worry about them going cold. Although I do have grenade pouches on the harness here, so I can access a torch, a head torch, very quickly, put it on my head. When I don't need it, I put it in here, so I don't even have to take the pack off to get illumination. There's another on the other side which is currently empty. I'll find something to put in it. If you're using a PLCE, and loads of people have got them Bergens, really go for the webbing. I really would. It's a game changer. You just put your water in, your rations, your stove, first aid pack, keep a spare utility for things like your boot cleaning kit and whatever else, bits and bobs you want, and you're good to go. And then all you should have then is about 12.5 kilos, mine was, without the webbing. I could even put the sleet sheet in here and carry it on the webbing and take the weight of that out of the PLCE. How does this fare without the water? Brilliantly. It's much more comfortable. I do think the CS95 does have issues with how comfortable it is for so little load. CS95 Bergen, 4.5 kilos with 8 kilos of kit in. If you came into my shop and you bought a kilo of sugar, would you expect me to give you a bag for it weighing half a kilo? It equates to the same. I've only got 8 kilos of kit in a 4.5 kilo bag to put it in. And that is what I always get at when I do Bergen videos, that if you do travel pretty light, you could even rethink if you need a Bergen at all. Obviously for durability, yeah, get yourself one. If you overload your pack, get yourself one, either the GU or the CS95, really doesn't matter. Both are comfortable, provided you get the water out. And if you can, your cook set and things like that, and put them on a webbing. With this, no webbing, but I can carry water, and I'll show you how coming up very soon. Until then, take care of yourself. I'll see you out there. Happy trails.